Hi, Dr. D.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, guys. Got my tornado box finished. You want to see it?
Yeah.
What's the probability that it'll work? Remember, we went over probabilities last time we were here.
You've been talking about hurricanes for too long. Here we go.
That is really interesting. How does it work?
In this case, it doesn't spin because of the Coriolis effect. The fan pushes the air out the top, and then air going through the slots on the sides is formed into a vortex with a counterclockwise rotation. So what's happened?
We think it's going to be okay to make our trip to Florida.
How do you know?
Well, let's start with clouds. We learned that clouds form as warm, moist air rises and cools. This cool air condenses to form clouds. It's this condensation that gives energy to hurricanes.
You know why the air cools when it rises?
No, I hadn't thought about it.
Moist air rises to a higher elevation with less pressure, it expands. Expansion is a cooling process. Let me show you. Blow in your hand like this.
It's pretty warm.
Now blow with your lips like this so the air has to expand.
Neat. It's much cooler.
Isn't science wonderful? I'm sorry I interrupted you. Keep going.
We've been watching the hurricanes very carefully and plotting its location on the hurricane tracking chart.
We know that hurricanes in our part of the world start in the Atlantic tropical waters and move to the west.
That's right, they're pushed along by the trade winds.
Dr. Brow taught us how LiDAR measures the amount of water vapor in a hurricane.
That's important because the amount of water vapor determines the strength of the storm.
Don't forget what the hurricane hunters are able to find out. We learned that there are a lot of factors used to predict the probability of landfall.
But we think the key to this case is a high-pressure region in the southeast part of the United States that may block the approach of the storm.
What do you think, Dr. D?
Sounds like you've really worked hard on this. A high-pressure region can certainly affect the path of a hurricane. But remember, we can only talk about probabilities. You can't know for sure.
Wait, here comes a Weather Channel report.
Hurricane Ichabod has been quite active the last 12 hours. The eye of the storm was tracking northwestward, but if you recall, a high-pressure system building in the southeast is becoming stronger and moving towards the hurricane's path. Now, when these two systems collide, the ridge of the high pressure is causing the storm to curve its track into a northeasterly direction. Therefore, the hurricane watch has been discontinued over Florida.
The news channel just confirmed our hypothesis. We think there's a high probability that the high-pressure system will keep the storm off the shore. So we've decided to go to Florida.
Oh, I certainly hope that you're right. I was going to a conference in Florida. I decided to stay here instead.
You may be missing some nice weather.
Well, I don't think I want to take any chances.
Okay, Dr. D. You may be sorry.